welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of November 3rd, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me today, two individuals I'm adjusting to the change in time.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless. I don't know, adjusting's a really, really nice way to put it.
Devon Craft.
Hey guys.
We vote to didn't we vote to not do this anymore?
To?
What? You guys both
talked.
Didn't we vote to not do this anymore? Daylight savings time.
Oh, voting doesn't matter anymore.
Don't
Don't you know? It's illegal now. I don't know. I always vote against it.
That's a funny joke. I wish it was funny.
I wish that joke was a funny joke. Turns out. Time change is useless. All it does is hinder us, and so I always vote against it. But it's still happening, so I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
I was just saying this is the better one because you gain an hour, so at least you get to sleep an extra hour. The other one is the one that is worse because then it feels like it throws you off way more. This one still throws you off. I still feel pretty discombobulated, but
yeah, this one's definitely easier to adjust to because it's more. We look as a people, we need more sleep, not less.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, this one feels easier to adjust to for sure. The kids liked it. The kids were like, "This is great." They were getting a little bit like, "Hey, we're waking up in the morning and it's still dark, so it's hard for us to wake up." And I'm like, "Turn the light on," and they can't handle that. That's too much. But now the sun's out again when they're waking up, so that's good, I guess. It has been an extremely busy 4 days for me personally. Ben, What about you? Have things been very busy for you for the past 4, perhaps more days? Tell me about it, please.
Well, Stephen, you and we taught classes at the Art-a-thon at our children's school, and thank you so much for jumping in and teaching a class. I ran a Werewolves game, and it went great.
That's wonderful.
And but previous years I had ran a poetry workshop and a beginning web development workshop as well.
Whoa!
And so
that's intense. Yeah, I was.
Well, it was really cool because this week, or during the Werewolves game, one kid came up to me and said, "Hey, I was hoping you would do the web development thing again because I was so inspired. I actually made a website after your class." And I was like, I am so honored. That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Super cool. The kids are all right, I guess.
Did you go to his website?
Not yet. I've got it written down. It's on my list. But as you said, the past 4 days have been tremendously busy.
They have been. So I did the Art-a-thon as well with you, which for those not in the know, the school that our kids go to has this fundraiser thing, and then the people who do good at the fundraiser, they get to sign up for classes, and these classes are run by volunteers, PTSA, parents and whatnot, and we as the volunteers bring our knowledge of art stuff to the children, right? You're like, "Hey, here's social deductive reasoning games," and I had originally signed up for doing miniature painting, teaching the kids how to paint small.
Really cool.
That would have been great if my dog's mouth hadn't fallen out by force.
Aww.
And I got distracted by other real life things and did not properly sign up on time. My fault. And when I did contact people, the person to contact, I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I was going to do this. And they said, hey, too late. We already sent the papers out for the kids. Sorry. And I said, hey, no worries. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. And a day later.
And actually,
a day later, I got an email that was like, hey, if you're still up for helping, somebody can't do their project, but they already have all the supplies and it's pretty easy. Can you fill in? And I said, sure. So that's what I did.
How was filling in for somebody else's project?
Oh, it was rough. It was rough just because I was unfamiliar with the art medium. It was making stained glass
Interpretive dance.
Yeah, stained glass interpretive dance. No, it was like stained glass mason jars. It's not really stained glass. We took like tissue paper and you like Mod Podge it on, which is like a type of glue, and designs and stuff. It was very simple. And then afterwards you put lights inside of it, and then now it's a thing that the kids can have. I've never done anything like that before. True to their word, it was very easy. And in our 2-hour time slot, it took about an hour to do. And then the kids just kind of hung out. And I felt kind of bad about that, because like this is their reward, right? For fundraising. They get to do this cool thing. And I know that if it had been something that I was knowledgeable about, I could have winged it a bit better. But it was like, here's the thing to make. You made the thing, and now it's done. Like there was no more like adding on to it or like doing other things. It was, you made the craft. The craft is done. Now what? So, and if it had been the miniature painting, well, then you keep painting more detail into it, right? You could just keep going until. And like some of the kids had questions, and I was like, I don't know. They're like, how do you do? I don't know. We'll just do our best. And so the kids, they made the stuff, they all seemed to have a good time with it. They're good kids, which was great. And and then there was a couple kids. Oh boy, did they have the Minecraft facts that they were telling each other.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I learned a whole lot about. Well, I didn't actually, because I didn't know what they were talking about most of the time. But they were in a very in-depth conversation about Minecraft stuff, which was, good for them.
Yeah. Right on. Well, thank you again. That's really cool. And
course.
I mean, I think that one of the reasons why I've taught different classes every year is because I've been trying to figure out, well, how do you fill in 2 hours, with one subject, and to make it engaging so I think that this year running I'm a Delicious Villager, my personal designed variant of the Werewolves game was the closest I've come to having it be something where like, everybody is kind of is pretty well engaged. It's not perfect though. And so, I don't know if it'll be the same thing I do next year.
Well, something that you mentioned to me as we were discussing this after everything was done was, the miniature painting, I think would be a lot of fun with the kids. But also just running a game like a D&D session or something, not necessarily D&D, but a role-playing game. I could easily fill 2 hours. I could easily fill 4 hours playing a game like that, and I do regularly on my spare time. So, something a little more interactive, a little more engaging, I think would be a whole lot of fun. But this whole
go ahead. There's a pretty good group of D&D at least curious at the school. So
D&D curious. That's how it starts. That's how you keep them off the drugs. You get them D&D curious.
I know my kid's school has a D&D club, because I get notices about it being like canceled for today or whatever. So
it's actually it's a ruse. It's canceled every day, and those kids that are like curious about it, they're sent in for reprogramming.
Jeez,
it's very dark.
Oh
no. So this Art-a-thon, I'm going to move on. This Art-a-thon thing was cool, but it was on Halloween. And then after that, we did our after school evening Halloween stuff here in town, which used to be like one road, where they like shut down the road, and all of the businesses would, they come out and they give out the candy, and it's like a safe little space. This year, they changed it without telling us. They didn't close the road down. So right away we're like, this is weird. There's like cars and stuff still like driving around, but all these kids. But our downtown area has expanded so much recently that they didn't want to limit it to just this one road. So it's spread out to like the surrounding blocks, which I think was a lot better. And there was more businesses involved, more community involved, and more candy, which the kids did not need. So we did all that. That's great. We had Halloween. The kids, they met up with some people from their schools, right? They're running around, getting the candy. Everyone was safe. It was a fun time. I dressed up like a Jedi because I have all this Star Wars crap. So I was like, how can I do this? How can I make a little costume quickly? Throw on my Ahsoka poncho, get one of my Disney lightsabers, put on some clone trooper armor that I made via my 3D printer. Done, right? Easy, no problem. And then we went to Disneyland. So, so that yeah. So then that night, after the Halloween festivities were done, we went home, got in the car, and drove. So my wife Martine wanted to go to Disney for her birthday, which was a few weeks ago. And with other things that were happening, this was the time when we could go. And this is why, and thank you, Ben and family, for taking care of dog and chickens while we were away. Hopefully you guys got lots of eggs.
Yes. Yeah. We raided your egg collective. So
good.
Thank you.
I hope the little beasts inside don't hatch and take over your brain. So
what?
Never mind. So we drove down to Disney, and we got a hotel room like right across the street from the park. That was, guys, go to Disneyland the day after Halloween. Go. There was like half the crowds. All of the longest we waited for a ride was like half an hour. Most rides were 10 to 15 minutes. A couple of them like 20 minutes. We got to do like every ride that we wanted to. The only one we didn't was because it shut down, and that was Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the old Splash Mountain. And we did a day. We rope dropped, which is when you get to Disneyland right before it opens, and there's ropes, right? And everyone lines up. We get special stickers that said, "I was here for rope drop," and we're there right when the park opens, and we were there until 6 p.m. roughly, where we needed to take a little break, change into warmer clothes, went back to the hotel for about 45 minutes, came back, and stayed until closing. It was insane. It was intense. I believe I had about 5 cups of coffee throughout the day to keep going, but it was a whole lot of fun.
All right.
I recommend it. I think it's a good time.
Sure. Sounds wonderful, Stephen.
I'm a
blink twice if you're feeling like you're in danger, because
blink blink. No, it was good.
The mouse has you.
The mouse has me. It was funny because I mentioned the mouse. So there was when it came to the fireworks. When the fireworks happens, they different ropes and stuff are put up. There's byways that you can't stand around to look at the fireworks, little places that you can. And we were in this place where we could stand and watch the fireworks, and we were right next to a guy that was like ushering people by, saying, "Oh, you can't stop here. You have to be behind the rope, blah, blah, blah." And he was saying like, "Okay, this way to go here, to go there." Like he was making announcements on like, walk this way to get to the thing you're trying to go to, because the other walkway is closed. And he started to say Splash Mountain. Like this way to this, that, the Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And then I leaned over. I was like, "Are you allowed to say Splash Mountain?" And he was like, oh yeah, we're in a transitionary period between names, and so it can be called either one. I was like, okay, I thought you were gonna get in trouble by the mouse, like, because you refer to it the mouse as, of course, the Mickey, the leader of Disney and all the rules. And we had a little chuckle about that, and then the kids were like, who's the mouse? Like, is he gonna get in trouble by the mouse? And I was like, I'm just kidding, kids. It's okay. Yeah.
Devon, what did you do for Halloween?
Me, we stayed in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood does a lot of like Halloween stuff, so it's pretty popular. But we just stayed in our neighborhood. That's about it.
All right, cool, sweet. Tell me about weapons.
It's just a movie Jen and I watched on Saturday night. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a horror movie that came out in theaters a few months ago, and now it's available on HBO. Do you guys know anything about
Steven
it?
liked it.
I don't know anything about it.
Wait, didn't we talk about this last week?
We talked about
Or was
Sinners.
I just
Sinners?
well, there we go.
So
what's weapons?
it's I mean, I'm generally not a horror movie guy unless like the movie itself has gotten like particularly good reviews, and this one is one of those movies that got really good reviews, and I heard good things about it. And kind of in the same vein as Sinners, it's a movie that is a good movie on its own, not just a good horror movie. So I mean, the horror aspect of it is more intertwined with the overall plot than in Sinners, where it kind of just pops up halfway through. But the premise, which isn't really a spoiler because they tell you it opens with a narration by a little girl and gives you the whole setup. It's kind of interesting actually because it gives you the setup and it even like jumps ahead a little bit in time. So it's like the setup is one night in the middle of the night at like, to give you the exact time, 2:17, a group of kids, like 20 kids, all who are in the same class at school, and they're like third graders. They get up in the middle of the night and they all leave their house and like run into the woods, and they disappear. Like no one can find them.
Okay.
And no one knows why. No one knows where they are, and of course everyone's freaked out because they want to find their kids. And then there's one student in the class who didn't do this, and the teacher is facing a lot of scrutiny because they're like, well, you must know something. Like the only common denominator is that they're part of your class. So what happened? And she's like, I have no idea. I don't know what happened. The way it's told is like non-linear. Also, it follows different characters at different times, and so you kind of get more of the story filled in depending on which character you're following. So it has that aspect to it. It has some comedy. I mean, it's a very dark movie and very graphic at times, but there's also some like just random stuff that's funny. Like,
okay,
kind of like, I mean, it's a good movie to watch if you like horror movies, or if you like good movies and you don't mind horror. That you do get a answer, like they don't leave it hanging as to what happened. You do finally, through the way the story's told, get kind of like the last kind of thread, or when you follow a person, it's like, okay, here's what happened, and you kind of see it from a particular perspective that kind of puts all the pieces together.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And at the end, and then the end, it gets kind of crazy because you've got everything. It's the climax. Everything comes to a head, but you've got some interesting things happening. But
okay.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't want to spoil it. It's just
no, that's fair. But
it's worth watching and not knowing
it's
exactly
worth it.
What's going on?
You say it's worth it. Okay, that kind of it's. I'm getting the same vibe over of this as. Have you guys heard about Good Boy?
No.
It's a movie, and it stars a dog who's a good boy, and it's from the dog's perspective, but it's like a zombie apocalypse. but everything is like the dog is the main character. And apparently it's really good. I haven't seen it. I just watched a thing on YouTube like about it because the writers and directors are like these indie filmmakers and it's their dog. And so the dog doesn't know that they're making a movie. And so like the dog's owners, or the creators of this movie, like are the zombies as well. And it's one of those deals where like it seems like super creative because it's a zombie movie from the point of view of a dog. And like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I want to though, that because it seems really good. But that kind of like a horror movie, but with like a different kind of twist. That sounds like what Weapons was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Ben, tell us about this Voyager thing, because I want to know if this Voyager video game is worth it or not for somebody who's not, who hasn't seen Voyager. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I think we talked about this a little bit, and Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown is a video game that has a demo on Steam. And I played it.
Fantastic.
I really liked it. I think you'd like it too.
Okay.
I'm not going to bury the lead here.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah. So it is that the basic gist of it is, if you're a Star Trek Voyager fan, of which I know there are at least two of us here on this podcast, that you will, it's a roguelike that takes the scenarios that happen in different episodes of Star Trek Voyager, and it allows you to make choices to either follow what happened in the show or not follow what happened in the show. And as the game keeps on going, those choices mean that your journey through the Delta Quadrant is could go very different than what happened in the show. Now, the show was about the USS Voyager that got shot 70,000 light years away from home, and they're on their way back. And when you're watching the first season, as I have been, they very much lean into, hey, we are out here on our own. We need to make need to make alliances with different alien races, but really, like, we're running out of supplies. Later on in the show, they kind of forget all that and just make it like a story of the week sort of thing, not the race for like survival that was kind of set up in the first season, and that shows like Battlestar Galactica ended up running with.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, however, with this video game, you can play it that way.
Oh, cool.
And so the demo shows a bit of kind of the different types of the ways that you interact with it. So the demo is kind of confined to just the events of the opening pilot episode. And so there isn't a lot of variation that can happen here, but you can kind of see the bones of where it would be. And then there's like a video that comes up that the devs released later that was like, hey, here's a late game scenario, where things could go based on 3 different builds of your ship.
I think I saw some of that. That was like if you're a science build or like a tactical weapons build, and then a secret third option. Was it that video?
Yeah. So yes, that's the video where like very different things where they're talking about like, well, hey, in our playthrough, unlike in the show, this character was recruited from this episode in order to be part of our crew. So they ended up, taking care of this particular thing for us. Or this character that leaves the show at a particular point, they died way earlier.
Yeah.
So like it has this ability that feels both honoring the original perspective of like the original idea of the show, but also dishonoring the show itself, because it can be like it's a playground for like it's an RPG. It's a playground for how all these scenarios that are going on, and random number generators helping you to determine like, okay, well, what ended up happening here? Did what you tried to do succeed?
But it's not
You
purely random,
have
right? Like there's still
no,
like
not
if
yeah. There's
you're
still scenarios.
good enough at a certain thing, you can accomplish goals. It's not
You're
just random.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're depending on who you assign to do particular tasks, you might have a better chance of succeeding or not. But
Okay.
you can still fail, and it is not an end game sort of thing until the ship is destroyed, theoretically.
Right.
It's very much play it as it lies, and then go back and start over and try again, because it's a roguelike.
Wow.
Um, it's really cool. A lot of people had some complaints early on about there not being enough music from the show or voices from the show.
Okay.
To which I say, number one, that doesn't matter.
Go watch the
Like,
show.
the music is like, okay, yeah, the music is like, okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, and they've
It doesn't
since
have the
said,
Voyager theme in it, or
no, it doesn't have the Voyager theme in it.
and that is pretty weird.
But neither did Elite Force, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. So
like, it's not a deal
like,
breaker. It's just weird. They obviously have the license to use the imagery and things. It's odd that, I guess maybe that cost a little bit extra, and they were like, "Oh, we don't need that. We can make our own music."
The demo doesn't, but they've said that they will be bringing it in for the full release.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
They've also
Oh,
said
no
they
biggie.
will be
That's not an
bringing
issue then.
in, yeah, they'll be bringing in voice acting, which I think is a major bummer, kind of, because because of the fact that this game is all about like different scenarios. That like what's exciting to me is not living through the scenarios exactly as they were on screen. It's actually changing things up, and a large part of that is the dialogue being different. Right at the beginning, like or rather at the end of the demo, I had decided to forsake the Ocampa and try to use the caretaker's array to go back home right at the beginning, and
Yeah.
I rolled the dice for that. Didn't work. But but like that was an option that ended up happening. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm really excited about the game. I think that if they did have full voice acting, it either wouldn't be quality enough, because you're probably not going to get the voice actors to do every line of dialogue that what's going on, or it's just going to be like them grunting or saying one line, and then the rest of it is evoking the feeling. I just wouldn't want the entire game to be voice acted, because that's almost like that would hamstring them with being able to provide us the content that I would want from the game.
Voice acting in video games is a weird thing, because it is so it adds so much to the cost of making that particular game.
Yeah.
And some games really, really benefit from them, and others it's just like, you didn't really need it. But either way, it still costs them a ton of money. Then the in-betweens where like they're just like, yes, Captain, and like you get that same line like over and over and over, and then like the rest of it isn't read. It's like, why'd you even bother with that? You know? So I imagine if the game is this far along and nothing has been announced about like, and returning to reprise their roles, there won't be anybody returning to reprise their roles, and we're just gonna get voice actors, and that's fine.
Either voice actors, or they're going to take little clips and like have that at the beginning of everybody's voice, thing that's like evocative of what they're trying to say.
Yeah, like tonally. Well, then you'll get like, yes, Captain, yes, Captain. Yes, Captain. Like you'll just get like the different the different tones, which could be okay.
Sort of thing. It could be okay, but it's also like that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the story, and yeah, let's get this game out, but it's not going to improve my enjoyment of the game, I think.
I mean, and the other thing is, I don't want to get too deep into video game talk here, but who's this video game for? If this game is for fans of Voyager, then they don't mind just reading the text. Right. If they're trying to aim this game towards a younger audience, they're used to voice acting in their video games and they don't want to read it, probably.
Yeah.
So
So like you go through the game. This isn't an action game. This is a game where you're clearing out decks of junk, like of debris from your initial, like the ship was beat up, and then you're reestablishing power to different decks. You're rebuilding it with barracks and with different loadouts for different rooms that can increase. It's a management sim on the ship.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then you're flying around, exploring different points of interest, around each solar system you go to, and then you come across a bunch of story beats, and you choose what to do. So if that sounds at all interesting, like the graphics are incredible when you see the Voyager flying around in different things. It's just like, it looks so clean and so crisp and so cool. Whenever they show characters that you're playing and throwing into different scenarios, it's more just like illustrations of those characters, which is fine, but it feels like they're really going in a different direction in terms of this game, and they're really sticking to like making a fun game rather than trying to just make a licensed property.
That's great. And it seems like they've also sidestepped the problem of like, you got a spaceship with lasers, just shoot other spaceships with lasers, and that's the game, right? Because that's the lowest common denominator with Star Trek games. Shoot the thing with lasers.
A lot of people, when you first come to Star Trek, you see all the bright lights and flashing phasers and all that sort of stuff, and you're like, oh, that's what this must be. It's just an action adventure thing. But like, that's not exactly the case in most Star Trek, especially older Star Trek, where it's more about philosophy and diplomacy. And this allows you to play the game that way, or to play it weapons blazing. It's your choice. And that's like super, super cool to me and really interesting. So,
awesome.
The demo's already hit 100,000 downloads. So
it's about to hit 100,001. I tell you that right now.
I played it on my Steam Deck.
Cool.
And good times.
So when does the full version come out? Do we know, or have they not announced it?
I think it's in January. I don't know. I'm going through the videos on Steam. I don't see it, but I think I saw that it was going to be in like January 26th, somewhere around there.
Well, there you go. Look forward to that. All right, we're already half an hour in. We haven't hit our future or now yet, so it's time. It's time for future or now.
Now. Stephen, why don't you take us?
Wow. Well, look who's hosting the show now with his big britches on.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
You are the captain. You have all the pips. Someone take his pips away. Can we take his pips away? No?
I stole them from Devon.
Yeah, I stole them from Devon. Yeah. All right. This is going to be quick. This isn't even an article, really. This comes from YouTube. And the title, I guess, the title. There it is. Sorry, I had the tab open. Neuromuscular aim assist. So this comes from the channel Basically Homeless, which I don't know. This came across my feed though, and it's interesting because it's a guy who's like, "Hey, I'm getting on an age, and my reaction time in shooters isn't what it used to be."
Yeah, we gotta get those numbers up.
Got to pump up those numbers. And so his solution, his tech-based solution, was to get to electroshock parts of his arm to make his muscles twitch, and that was connected via a Raspberry Pi to his computer, where it would detect where the enemy was on screen and twitch his muscles in a way so that his mouse would move directly over where that person is.
Oh.
Yeah. And
okay.
This guy is very sensitive to these shocks, so as he's testing it, he's just screaming. But the best part is it works. Like it actually
Whoa.
worked. And then he even got it to also twitch his finger to fire. So it would twitch his arm immediately to like their head and then fire the shot immediately, and he was just getting kills like crazy. He was like, this actually works. It was super interesting the way that he like took he used Python as his programming language. He's got a Raspberry Pi 5, I think. He's got all these like pads that he puts on his arm to twitch the specific muscles. It was a super interesting build. It's like a 17-minute long video. If that sounds fun, check it out. It's really cool. Just the hackiness of it, like hacking different things together to make something work. The problem solving of just like how do I make this work? How does it? And it's great too because it also shows clips of him in multiplayer matches with strangers, telling them like, "Hey, I'm not using a cheat bot, but I am electroshocking my arm to make it aim for me." And they're like, "Yo, that's cool, man. Yeah, do that. Like, we don't care." And he was just racking up kills. It was great. It's a really fun video.
I guess that's does it, as neat as this is about biohacking and all that sort of stuff, I'm curious, does it make the game more fun?
I mean, that wasn't the point. The point of this wasn't to see if that made the game more fun. The point was to see if he could
augment his
augment and hack his reaction times. And apparently there is, and he used it within this video. There is something that you can download where it's like a game, but like it just like little dudes pop up and you like move to shoot them and it measures your reaction time. And so he used that as a benchmark to like see how well he was doing before he entered the game, whatever game it was proper. It was just super cool, super interesting. It had to use like AI recognition to like recognize enemies versus your own team. And guys, it was really cool. Is it technically cheating? Technically, yes, right? Because you want to go against people of your peers. Was his reaction time faster than humans? At a certain time, yes, it was. So, yeah, it was incredible. It's really fun. So that's my science for the day. Just kind of a fun. I love stuff like that. Just the like. Using technology to augment your own biological processes is super cool. I mean, it's an evolution of wearing glasses, which I do, right?
Well, I mean,
the light bending capability of glass to make us see better or correctly.
Right.
It's cool.
Well, I mean, like that's kind of like two different visions for the future of how we interact with computers. Like we either are becoming cyborgs or we got room-based stuff. So like where the industry is going today in this video is all about wearables, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's a watch, it's smart glasses, or electroshocking yourself in order to get better aim in first-person shooters. But
great.
like tech companies have been trying to find this third device, this mythical device that comes after the PC and the smartphone, and they're trying to turn the person into the computer. But that's not the only way that can be, right? So like I said, cyborgs with wearables, well, there's the room devices. So that's like the device like the Amazon Echo or the Google, home,
computer.
Apple HomePod.
Do a thing.
Right. Our ability to walk into a space and the space be augmented by computing, but it's not like following us around. It's not providing us additional information. It kind of feels like a bit of a partnership. So they've been trying to do all this stuff, but really there was this incredible experiment that happened called Dynamic Land, which was a community workspace in Oakland, California, that was around from 2017 to COVID. By the way, this is my future now. I'm not like I'm.
No, you segued like a professional. That was fantastic. Until you pointed it out.
You know, until I pointed it out. Sorry, everybody. I'm pulling back the
Leave the curtains alone.
The basic. There was this building called Dynamic Land, and it was this idea of communal computing where physical objects in real space become programmable. And so it was a real thing. It's still kind of around, but it fell by the wayside during COVID, and they're kind of coming back. But it had it was 1,000 different participants creating hundreds of projects that couldn't have existed anywhere else, and they created communal computing. The building was the computer, by way of allowing like projectors and cameras all around the space up above, though also interacted with a bunch of other means of sensing and affecting the physical world. It was this ability, this place where, because everybody could see all the parts that make up the computer program, they can all hack on it and change things together. And
wait, you said this is in the real world? This isn't virtual? Okay, no, what do you... So is there a computer, a server? Like what's doing the processing?
Okay, so think, the processing, there are computers around, but think about this being like a large laboratory space where there's a bunch of projectors and cameras hooked up to the ceiling, checking out what's going on, right? And then responding to what's happening with real world items in the laboratory. So it could mean like one of the first examples that they give in a 6-minute intro video shows they set down a piece of paper that it has a sorry, I'm kind of going to where it says like recognize buildings, and they set down a bunch of buildings on this tabletop. And so it shows these lines here. They're being projected from above, and they're being manipulated around the buildings. And then there's another piece of paper that has code on it that says simulate wind. And so they set it on the tabletop, and now the lines are moving, and they're moving around all the different buildings that, like, model buildings that they placed in there. And then beyond that, setting down other items that are interactable, real world, like pieces of paper or models that all kind of they're all kind of, I'm sorry, it's difficult to like explain it because it's completely new. It's using your hands, like playing a card game or like a board game, or arranging scale models or building scale models in a way where you're doing it together, and you're like it's communal computing, making use of space, not needing to make projections of like what the real world will do, because it already is halfway in the real world and responding to what's happening in the real world.
Okay, so I'm looking at this video, this intro video, and what I'm seeing is you've got, like you've explained, a room that uses a computer to see and sense and read and project anything in the room. So, like, if you have a piece of paper with lines of code on it, it will see the code and it will execute the code.
Exactly.
And if that code is to, move make some lights, do some, whatever it is, it just kind of does
music.
Yeah. And so that's, I get, that's like the communal part of it, is that anybody can come in here with their lines of code and use it to interact with everyone else's lines of code.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And so
that's really cool. This is really awesome.
It demystifies coding because you can see everything that's going on. It has a a computing language that they have called Real Talk, which is the operating system and the computing language that's being built in, like all the code is up on a poster board in the corner of the room.
Uh-huh.
And you can actually see it and modify it and change it in real time, creating and exploring computational models made of actual physical materials. And it's absolutely bonkers. The idea about this is they're hoping to like take, like, well, what if the building was a computer, and Dynamic Line could be the start of a new community service building, like a library, but this space to learn and build together, and to because like true democracy requires literacy. And so like here is the way where you can see what computing is in a real world application, like, and have it be something where maybe you're handling different types of data and doing projections there, and working with other people trying to handle models of stuff coming up, you know, like weather models or
so
but
this I would explain this as being augmented reality realized.
Yeah,
like that's
but not by wearing like a computer on your body,
right,
that allows you to see something different from everybody else. No, everybody sees what's going on.
Right. Instead of wearing some goggles or something, it just all appears in that space with you via lights and whatnot. This is really cool. This is really, really interesting and cool. And I can see why COVID killed it, because you need people.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I mean, like it completely inverts the paradigm of the last 40 years of computing, where we've been aiming towards personal computing, right? Like you look at VR, that is like the extent of where, you know, personal computing has taken us right now.
Yeah.
But what if there was a computer that was communal computing? What could you build then?
This takes away the I did a thing on my computer, but to show you, I need a printer to then make it real and then show you, right?
Right.
It takes that away and say, I made a thing on my computer, and here it is in the real world immediately.
Yeah.
And that's a place where, like, yeah, you need that infrastructure of like lights and projectors and a place where it can, you know, read things that you hand to somebody else and then make it appear. And yeah, dude, this is awesome. I really dig this.
Right. Yeah.
Devon, do you understand any of this?
Not really.
Okay.
I was gonna go to the thing and see if I can understand it.
I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
you know,
I just right now I have the intro movie from their website just on mute, and I'm watching it, and just without, you know, hearing anything that they're saying, like, I'm getting it. I understand what this is all about. Yeah, this is cool.
You know, but like to what you were talking about before, Stephen, like that the fact that democracy, I guess, okay, the video ends with this. Here's the big picture. Democracy requires universal literacy, and democracy in the 21st century is going to require a new kind of literacy for understanding and discussing systems that can't be captured in words and pictures. Things like the environment, equity, health, global economies. We're not going to solve these things in here. And this is when he holds up a phone, or in here, and he holds up like a VR headset. We're going to solve these things out here, motioning to the entire room and the environment, where we can gather around as real people and use competition to explore ideas together.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, computers as they are, as I'm sitting at a computer desk looking at it, I think it's gone as far as it can go. Like, beyond like, oh, look, it looks fancier, it runs faster. Like, that's where we're at. Same thing with like cars and stuff. Like, we're that technology has reached its end. You know,
I mean, we'll see. Like, it's interesting because Okay, so for example, like a lot of the technologists and what the big tech industries want you to believe right now is that AI is the future, right?
Yeah.
And so they're throwing a lot of money and time and effort into that. If you were to pick up the latest computers from Apple, you would find that a lot of the latest chips are for handling on-device AI,
Yeah.
which like, oh, that's interesting. Most people aren't going to do that. They're going to access AI through a web browser. But like what that has done to us is all these really powerful computers we've got, um, they've turned back into thin clients where we're just it's just a terminal that's accessing a server somewhere, which is what computing was for so long in the 80s, when they were trying to get stuff done. Like the personal computer or at the 70s and 80s, personal computer revolution brought all that in here, and now we're back to uh, we're accessing stuff out there when now, like, the chips that are going to get better are going to get better about on-device computation that is more private, that is more attuned to the context of where you are. And so like that's still interesting. There's still interesting things happening in that space, but nothing as ground shattering as Dynamic Land is.
Yeah, that's really
So
impressive for sure.
yeah.
All right, with that, we are going to take ourselves a little break. And when we come back, we're doing book club. Hooray! The Game of
Yay.
Smash and Recovery by Kelly Link. There is, of course, a link in our show notes if you would like to read along, and you definitely should. And yeah, we will be right back. You ever notice how everyone in sci-fi movies has a secret society they belong to? The Jedi, the Bene Gesserit, the Illuminati, or whatever? Well, guess what? So do we. It's called our Patreon, and if you join at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast, you'll get access to exclusive content, our Discord, and knowledge that normal listeners will never understand. Join us, or remain in the dark. Your call. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hello.
And a big thank you to our patrons, Nay and Josh. Thanks a bunch. You got a lot of discussion mid-pod about a board game, video game board game thing. So I hope you liked it. Book club.
Book club. Let's do it. Next week, what are we rolling with next week?
In the Forests of Memory by E. Lily Yu, which we found a link. There'll be a link in the show notes, but off of vice.com, where the entire story is published. But this week, we have The Game of Smash and Recovery by Kelly Link off of strangehorizons.com.
Yes, and this was published. Oh, I have too many windows open now, and I didn't click on that one.
2015.
2015. So this is a 10-year-old story already. My, how time flies.
I tried to find the podcast. I found a lot of links to the podcast where they read it, and I think it's just link rot. Where
yeah, I couldn't find it either.
Yeah, I think they just stopped.
I was very disappointed because I had to try to read it.
Try to read it. Oh, tell us more.
Well, I mean, I read it. No. I'm not saying that it was written poorly. Just find the time to read it. Like, not be able to just listen to it. Like, I had to read it.
Yeah. One thing at a time. Ugh. All right. What is the story, you guys? It's very interesting.
Yes.
And I think I understood it. Go ahead, Ben. What do you got? What do you got about this?
Well, I guess, yeah, the question here is, much like last episode, do we start with how you discover what's going on? Or do we just chat about it from the end and work our way back?
I think we got to start at the end and work our way back for this one.
Okay. All right. So, as I understand it, there's Oscar and Anat, who are basically, Oscar is the big brother, Anat's the little sister, and there is something growing within Anat's brain, which is essentially her growing a super intelligence that will power their ship moving forward, but they have to wait until she grows to a particular age before that happens. And during that time, there's expeditions back down to their home to their home planet, where there are vampires there. They have different creatures like what do they call them? Handmaids,
The
which have
handmaidens, yeah.
sharp fingers, probing snouts, furred bellies, and sleek and whip-like limbs that are their robotic helpers that help make sure that they stay alive and help, do different things. And but it's all in service of an intelligence growing within this human that is removed, and then the human continues lesser than what she was growing up to be, but I guess the human served as the chrysalis for this super intelligence that now will take control of the ship that they're on as they venture out into space.
Here's something interesting. I put in the word human to see if it exists in the story, and it does not.
Yeah. Yes.
That's part of it. So this story does not have a lot of what's the term? Proper nouns. there are a lot of like. What's that?
Well, intentionally to obfuscate the truth.
Exactly right. So there's home. There's the warehouse builders. There are vampires and handmaidens, and let's see. There's the places they're not supposed to go, which have like names to them, like the stay out territory. The way that I understood this story is that a ship crashed on this planet, and it is attempting to rebuild itself. And that is this Anat is like the ship's computer, and Oscar is like something that is repairing the ship. But it's framed as a brother and a sister waiting for their parents to come back. But it's the ship's mechanic, if you will, and the ship's trying to repair the ship's brain and the ship at the same time. And they get to a point of like, okay, now we can put all the pieces together. And that's from Anat's point of view is like, oh, I'm not what I thought I was. Now I have like unlocked all this information. Now I get it. But this point where I was still being reassembled and thought I was a child, that personality stays intact as she is turned back into a ship. That doesn't seem right either, but parts of that seem right. Devon, what did you get out of this story?
I mean, basically the same thing.
As who? As Ben or as me? Because they were both a little different.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I figured the main character seemed to have like a physical body, right? This wasn't just all like within the ship's mainframe. Right?
That's a good question. we don't. It's never really defined. That's the thing. Things are so generic, and from a immature person or personality, you don't really know. They say they go to home, capital H home, but that's never really defined.
Yeah. It'd just be like transferring consciousness from one location to another.
It could be.
Now here, I mean, like at the end, the main narrator is no longer Anat, it's the ship with a capital S, ship.
Right.
And Anat is not entirely gone. It's just that she is so very small. Most of her is ship now, or rather, most of ship is no longer in Anat. But she brought Anat along with her and left enough of herself inside Anat that Anat can go on being. And then
two physical things there. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, because they're talking about like one day Oscar will be what he was, even if he can't be who he was. One day, in fact, Oscar may be quite something. Uh, and then the ship, without knowing why, will look and find Oscar on the 10th level in the garden with Anat. He will be saying her name, Anat, Anat, Anat. He will follow her, saying her name, until the handmaids come to collect him again. Anat does the work that she knows how to do. She weeds, she prunes, she tends to the rice plants and the hemp and the little citrus trees. Like the ship, she is content. So that implies to me that Anat was Anat and Oscar were physical beings. And in fact, earlier on, they kind of mentioned that like the idea of a like a sausage with the meat inside and the packaging around it at one point. Her precious cargo entrusted to her by those who made her, and this piece of her, small but necessary, crammed like sausage meat into a casing. She registers the body she is wearing. Yeah. So like that idea that much of her consciousness was, what was being developed inside this meat sack in order to be transferred into becoming the consciousness of the ship at a particular point. And throughout it, she's been lied to by Oscar and by the environment around her to make her believe that she has parents that are yearning for her to come back and, to come back to her, or different things that, like, what are their parents? It's unknown.
I mean,
they talk about them a lot.
Yeah. The story is so interesting because it is so fuzzy about what's actually happening. But I can see, or I think I see behind the fuzziness, there is like a true what is happening here that's just being obfuscated via the point of view the story is told in. Like I could see the story being told another way of like, oh, the colony ship, crash landed and now the things that repaired the ship, the handmaidens are scavenging, trying to repair the ship, while the ship's computer had to be taken apart because it couldn't handle being a broken ship, and so it needs to be retaught everything as if it was a child. Like, there's something going on here that this story is not giving us the full picture, but it feels like it's there somewhere, and there's so much that's just I just don't understand. Go ahead.
It's dedicated to Ian and Banks, right?
Yeah, Ian and Banks.
Dedicated.
Yep.
Which, have you ever read any of his books?
No. I read one once.
Yeah, which one did you read? Did you read
I
think I remember which one it was. It was like one of his first ones. It's like the first culture book.
I'm looking through the wiki. I'll let you know.
Consider Phlebas?
No, that's not the one I read. Transition,
Phlebas, right?
I read Transition.
Okay, well, I've read a few of them. I don't even think I've read Transition. I guess I'd have to see a description of it. But in those books, in his world, because his shared universe is the culture universe, that's the society that kind of takes over the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
They have huge ships, like insanely large ships. Like, I mean, the way they're described, maybe even the size of a moon or something. But those ships are conscious. Okay. And they all have really funny names, and they all have personalities, and they're all described really crazy because they have, that's a different type of life and being, and so to describe that is strange. So I could definitely see where this is inspired by Ian and Banks and the Culture series. It's almost kind of like a fanfic for that universe.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, because I do feel like this is a biomechanical ship thing that's being repaired, but it's like from the point of view of the ship being repaired. Yeah. And Oscar, teaching the ship how it's supposed to do things, and with this whole, because I mean the title, the game of smash and recovery, like that's a whole nother part of the story that I didn't really understand, maybe because I was trying to read it quickly, but it's like it feels like it's a logic game that they're playing with each other that is intended to make a Nat discover something about herself to then be able to get to the next step of being reinstalled into the ship, or you know, of being able to handle what they're supposed to handle. I don't know. It's I like the story.
Did you guys like it? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I liked it, but I know that I do not understand it. And I feel like the understanding is there with enough study that I don't have time for. So it's a little bit frustrating in that sense that I don't have the time to dedicate to fully understand this story, but I feel like it can be understood. So with that, I think it's cool. I don't know if I like it, but I like that it exists. How about that?
How about you, Devon? Did you like it?
Did I like it? I guess I'm misreading things, or you can understand what's happening. I'm listening to the fourth. I finally started or got back into Dungeon Crawler Carl, so I'm listening to the fourth book of that.
Oh, nice.
So that's a funny contrast to something like this that's way more out there. Yeah, I don't know if I liked it. Perhaps not.
So,
maybe I would want something a bit more straightforward at this point.
So I think it's interesting, having read this immediately after reading Planet Lion.
Yeah.
Which was a story where we had to work very hard to understand. And I'm not sure, like, that was far more obscured by the way it was being told.
The writing style. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I prefer this to Planet Lion by a large margin. Mostly because throughout it, as opposed to like me trying to fight against the language that was being used in order to understand what was going on, I was able to go with it in this particular case and go, okay, I'm understanding that these are the things that are happening, and that, you know, every little layer that it adds allowed me to recontextualize what was coming before it. And at the end, I got a fuller picture of it than I feel like I got from Planet Lion. So yeah, but between the two, I prefer this, and I would say I like this. You know, it's more popcorn than literature, whereas Planet Lion was way more literature.
Okay, fantastic. Well, with that, we're going to wrap up book club for this week. Next week, In the Forest of Memory by E. Lily Yu. There's a link in our show notes. And I think we're just going to wrap this whole thing right up because we've been talking long enough. Devon, do you have any final thoughts for us about life?
I hate people.
Great. I like that.
Like all people, just people in general now. Like, no, I like recording during the day because I'm not as tired. But I'm also then subject to things coming in my email for work, and probably not surprisingly, as people might already know, lawyers, of which I'm one, are jerks, and so I have to get emails from jerk-ass lawyers while trying to record a podcast.
Oh no.
And I'm seething with, like, are you kidding me? Like, I've done everything I can to appease you. I mean, you know, lots of caveats and complexities, but like, it just, you should be happy and you want more. You SOB.
Excellent.
So
good to know. People are the worst. Ben, being a person, do you have any last words for us?
Yeah, I think this is really apropos of what Devon was saying. So Satan arrives to welcome a new damned soul to hell. Congratulations, he says. You wasted your entire pitiful life. Well, the man replied, at least I'm not an adult living in my father's basement.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.